using bots in your live video. What are bots? How do you connect your bots to your email system? Like all the things. We're going to be diving into that, and I will actually show you the connection between your bot system and your email today, because that's a fairly new thing and a lot of people have a lot of questions about that. And so I wanted to dive into that with you today. So welcome to Live Streaming Pros. If we haven't met yet, I'm Laria Petrucci, and I help you create a live video strategy that is going to massively grow your business, create more leads, more sales for your business. Live video shouldn't be left alone on an island and just doing it because you're supposed to do live video. I want you to use it strategically, and I want you to have purpose behind that. All right, so today we're gonna dive into connecting bots into your email system. If you are new around here, please do type new in the comments. I would love to give you a special shout out, and welcome back to everybody else. All right, so I have to show you this thing. This happened yesterday. So yesterday we had David join us on the tech show, on the Wednesday tech show, and this came in just a few hours later. Oops, sorry, I'm drawing on here. 195 new messages. This was like just recently after the live show ended. The live show lasted about 40 minutes, I believe, and we received 195 messages to the page. I'm not talking about live comments, way more. It was like 400, it's over 400 comments, but messages to the page that came in shortly after we ended yesterday's stream. And so what is that? Well, why does that have anything to do with what I'm talking about today? Those messages are all bot interactions. And so what is a Facebook Messenger bot? Let's dive into that. If you are not familiar, a Facebook Messenger bot is the ability to communicate with your audience in an automated yet human way. So basically what happens is I can ask you, if I use this in live video, which we are doing today, and you're gonna get the chance to experience that here in just a minute, but we are using messenger bots in live video, and this allows us to offer a freebie or the ability to grab a link easily to whatever we want you, whatever topic is of relevance, right? And so we can say, hey, just type a single comment, a word, a phrase, a keyword in the comments in Facebook while we're live, during the replay, all of it. And guess what happens? Automatically behind the scenes, my bot is hard at work because, you know, we pay him well. He's hard at work, and he's delivering that content to you. And so, you know, one thing I want you to realize is that when you are doing video, live video, about 80% of people are watching on this device. Oh, this is a big device. This is one of the larger devices on the market. But this device, people are watching your live videos on. So what happens? You say, I want to use live video to generate leads and sales, right? Perfect. That's great. I love it. But what are you doing when you ask them to visit a link? You're asking them to remember that link, because you're not done talking, they're not done watching you, or you're asking them to leave your live stream to go visit that URL. So if you're sending them to a webinar page or to a sales page or to a free checklist of some kind, or whatever the case may be in your case, you're asking them to leave or to remember, and that just ain't happening. Come on, let's be real. How often do you remember URLs that people give you in some video? Leave me, like, on a scale of 1 to 10, tell me how often. Like, 1 being you never remember, 10 you remember every single time. I want you to leave a number, scale 1 to 10. How often does that actually work for you? Do you go away from a video, if you're out and about and on your mobile phone, and then you actually remember that URL later on down the road? Please do tell me, because I would actually like to know. Okay, so that's kind of what the beauty of Facebook Messenger bots is. It's what I call an easy win. It helps you get more engagement because people are typing and commenting. It helps people take that step to comment with you. And then it also is an easy win for your viewers because they have that that link, that PDF, that whatever in their Messenger inbox whenever they want it, right? And so we are going to be talking about how you connect that to your email list so that it's not completely separate for you in your marketing efforts. And Charles, let's see, we have Charles at 3. I asked you to tell me when, on a scale of 1 to 10, how often do you remember URLs after the live video is done with it? So Charles said 3. Bill is 1. Can we throw these up on screen? Daniel is at a 3.
Are you sending them up?
Yeah. You're not getting them? We have Kathleen at 1.5. Nice, Kathleen. She's like, I can't decide between 1 and 2. Matthew at 1. You're not, that's weird. I guess it's not connecting. Patty says that should be called stream suicide, basically like the process of like asking people to leave your stream, right? Petra's at a 4, Kimberly's at a 3, Greg is at a 0, Dale is at a 4. I'm actually surprised by like Petra and Dale being at a 4. Mio is at a 0. Christopher says depends on the website link. If it's a short one, then I would say an 8. If it's a longer, difficult one, then a 2. Yeah, and sometimes some people make it really difficult, right? A Ty, am I saying your name right? I hope I am. A Ty says it should be in the description of the live video. Totally agree, and that's actually why I put the bot command in the description, right? So that actually helps with you guys actually taking that action. Okay, and then Rick says, right, remembering the URL doesn't usually happen. And Nanette over on YouTube says, I call my bot friend. All right, so that's what, bots are, and that's how you actually test, you guys can test it. Did you test it yet? If you haven't tested it yet, you have 2 options today. But I would actually love you to type in webinar in the comments on Facebook, and you can get my bot to talk to you. It'll send you a registration link for the webinar that we have coming up tomorrow or next week. God, I'm so glad it's not tomorrow. Because I am like on 4 hours of sleep and working really hard to get you guys an amazing, exciting show next week for this webinar. And so I'm going to be walking you through how you use live video to launch anything, to build that buzz, to connect with your audience, and to launch your product, service, event, book, whatever. Okay, so you just type webinar in there. If you're not on Facebook, you can actually head on over to livestreamingpros.com/webinar, and that'll get you there as well. Okay, so I want to tell you just a quick couple stories before I show you. I'm going to actually show you like how to, like what buttons you press in order to get your bot to connect to your email system. But I want to tell you about, well, Laura Smith, I've actually told you about before, but she's from iHeartPlanners.com, and she has 25,000 Facebook followers. She's been in business for about 5 years, and when she went live, she literally wasn't getting any engagement. She had like 1 comment per live video, and this can happen with live video, guys. This is I'm probably preaching to the choir here, because you've probably experienced just this. You go live and you don't get the number of viewers or the engagement that you were hoping for, or that you were even expecting given the hype surrounding live video. So this happens, and this is why I teach you strategy, and this is what we're going to be talking about next week on that webinar. So type webinar in the comments. But Laura, she has 25,000 Facebook likes. So like people would give an arm for that, right? But she wasn't getting any comments or engagement. She got one comment per live video. She introduced bots into her live video. She only did it for about 6 weeks so far. And immediately she was seeing results. 200 comments per episode. Now, Rachel from Stay at Home Chef, she has like over 2 million, Facebook followers. She's doing extremely well. I met her at Vid Summit, and I freaking love Rachel and Steven, her husband, who's behind the scenes. But they are doing fantastic already at their live streams, right? However, they weren't really using it for lead generation yet. And so what they did just recently, like days ago, they implemented their first bot and immediately 200 interactions with the bot. That was a really weak snap. Hold on, let's try that again. There we go. Right hand, baby. Okay, so over 200 interactions with the bot. We're not talking comments, we're talking about actual interactions with the bot itself. And then like just a couple of days later, I think it was 3 days later, that number had gone to over 800 interactions with the bot. So you see how powerful this is, right? Now, if you want to if you want to actually, go through the process, like I'm not going to go through the entire process of setting up a bot here at all, but Bill says someone needs to kick my bot to get me moving on it. Nice. All right, so let's look into like actually connecting it to your email system. So if you already have an email system, then one option is that you can actually get people to give you their email addresses through your bot, since we're talking easy wins, right? And then you can move people over into your email automation systems. So that can be very beneficial to you. Now, you're never going to get everybody to give you their email address. So you also want to, I just want to clarify this, you also want to make sure that you are kind of nurturing people through your bots and that they are taken care of there as well. Now, after I show you the how-to on this, I'm going to give you a common mistake that people make with this whole system of asking for their email address. So we'll get to that in a minute. But let's look at my bot best practices checklist. So this is one of my bots, just one of them. And so I actually deliver the bot checklist, and then I say, hey, you know what? Would you like this sent to your email so you can search later and always find it? If so, just go ahead and add that. And so if I go in and to edit it, you can actually see all I have to do is, so what I've done here is actually I'm going to, so you have your sequence. This is what the bot system looks like in ManyChat. That's the service that we use and recommend. And so you actually you can type, you can add in text like I did above there. And then what the button is that you're looking for is this user input. And so when you have user input, what you're able to do is, I'm just going to go up here since it's already connected and created. You have a reply type, and you just choose email instead of free text or multiple choice. You choose email, and then you have a save answer to a custom field. Bot checklist email delivery. This is my custom field because they are doing free keyboard input, meaning that they're not choosing a button, they're not choosing anything in particular. They're just typing their own words in there, right? So that's their email address in this case. Now, here's the next step. You've got to go over to Zapier. And hold on, I got to log in here because I didn't pull this up before. Good, you can't see that, my email address. Right. Okay, so here we go. So in Zapier, if you create a new Zap, then you can actually connect, I've done this before on the show, like create an entire Zap, and I'm not going to do that today. But if you know Zapier, you can connect ManyChat. Then you basically choose the edit options, and you're going to say the custom field. And so it's throwing an error here, but I think it's because it's already set up. But the custom field is what you're doing. So you're editing those options once you set up ManyChat. You're editing that, and then you're choosing your custom field that you already set up here in the custom field here. Does that make sense, everybody? Type a big yes or no in the comments. And then you connect that to your email system, and you choose the lists that you want people to go into, right? And so you're choosing the automation, and you're choosing the subscriber email, that custom field right there. So that's how you connect the two. And so I think it's a really powerful way. And I'm going to get to that. Common mistake here in a minute. But I have a little extra something for you because this was just released from ManyChat. And I actually am going to, I'm working with Mikkel, the CEO of ManyChat, to get him back on this show so that we can talk a little bit more about Flow Builder. But this is Flow Builder. And I'm just going to kind of show you what's even possible. So if you have maybe any of your email systems, you probably have seen something, like this before. Hold on. I'm in this. I'm just playing with this. So you have a starting step, and you type your messages as you would normally would, and then you create a button. Your button would say something like yes or no, and then we're going to say done. And then what you can do is, if they choose yes, you can actually do this little action. Okay, so if they say yes, then I want to create an action. And I want to subscribe them to a sequence, meaning maybe my bot workshop, right? That's obviously got to be what makes sense to you. And then, and we're going to scroll out here because you can kind of move things. You can kind of move things around like so. And then I can kind of, just go over here, and then I can send them a message. Yay, you're in, things like that, right? So that's a really, really cool way of building your messages. So I had a consult call with one of our viewers recently, and I took over her screen and I created her bot for her, because it is confusing, when you're kind of getting into this stuff. And if you're putting together a sequence and a flow and an automation like you would in email through a bot, it takes a little bit of mental power. And so this Flow Builder is actually a really powerful tool, and I'm so excited that they did that. Okay, so I'm going to get to that common mistake that people make when tying the email address to your bots, or your bots to your email address, either way, here in just a second. First, I see Kimberly is saying, love Flow Builder. Obviously, she's using that through ManyChat as well. And Petra says, this works perfectly with GetResponse as well, but I need to pay more attention to the reason why they should provide their email. We're going to get to that here in just a second. Nanette over on YouTube says, still trying to get a handle on it, meaning bots. Bots can be. So that's, one of the things, like, if you're interested in bots, please do join me on the webinar next week. We're going to be talking obviously at a higher level about bots, but I want you to understand how powerful bots can be. Do you understand how powerful bots are? Do you still, here's the thing, if you do not get it, if there's some question in your mind about why you should even be using this stuff, please do leave a comment. Please say confused. Just type the word confused for me. And I'd like to hear more about what's missing for you. Nanette says, how do I get that checklist? I didn't set up the bot for that particular thing, but let me see. I think I have a URL that I can give you. I'm just double checking that, Nanette. Okay, this URL is not Paul Dixon, our graphics designer, approved. We're shifting all of our opt-in pages and stuff like that. But Nanette, if you want to go to livestreamingpros.com/bot checklist, and somebody, maybe you can type that in YouTube, but livestreamingpros.com/bot checklist. You can actually get that checklist. Okay, so let's see. I saw some questions. Oh, here we go. Gideon says, do you need the paid Zapier account? Free won't cut it. So not necessarily. So it depends on how many zaps you want to create. I think the free one has 5 zaps to it, if I remember correctly. I pay for Zapier just because I use it for customer service. I use it for bots. I use it for a lot of different things. And so it's well worth the paid account for me. But you can totally start off with the free account. I don't believe there are limitations there, just to start, to test it out. So you should be clear on that. Okay, so Lisa said, when do you use growth tools? So growth tools are how you actually connect your live videos to your bots. So every time that you do a live video, you're going to use a growth tool. And so if you're going to do this a lot, then you definitely want to pay for the paid service, because you get more growth. You get unlimited growth tools. Hold on. Any job pricing. I just want to make sure I'm right on that, because I don't want to speak out of turn here. Unlimited custom fields, unlimited growth tools. Yeah. So the free service for MiniChat is actually like 4 growth tools. So if you're going to do it often, like we do, every single live show, then you're going to want to upgrade for that purpose. But yeah, so growth tools, there's so much that you can do with growth tools. Honestly, you can do like direct links. For instance, for my members, for our members, we actually have a link set up. Actually, no, if you use the show URL, like I use it for many, many different things. But if you actually go to livestreamingpros.com/show, that's a growth tool. It's a link that's connected to my show. And so that's one option. Doing the comments inside of Facebook is one option. Landing pages on your website or just out in the ethers, in the internet. You could do landing pages with buttons. I mean, you could do all kinds of different things with growth tools. It's a really powerful tool. Okay, let's see. Wait, other questions coming through as well. Daniel says, are these the same bots that Twitch streamers talk about? I'm curious. No, they're different. So at an overview level, all chat bots are pretty much the same concept. But in reality, when it comes down to what I'm talking about here with live video and all of that, it's different. Yeah, so a tool says where to begin with messenger bots. So we actually will train you on that. And so don't miss the webinar next week. We do actually have a bot workshop available right now. We're revamping that soon, just to add in all of this other stuff that they can do now, because they've changed quite a bit. But the basic tools and the basic learning process is on our website. If you go to livestreamingpros.com, there's a products page, and you can find the training on that. So if that's of interest to you to get started right now, then you can get started. Okay, let's see. Yes. Okay, dude, yes. Shane, our messenger bots good for setting up giveaways, freebies. This is one of the most powerful ways to do it. So if I had connected my bot checklist, like I should have, to this episode, you could just type checklist in the comments and you would have been given the freebie. That is a free PDF. And so Shane, absolutely 100%, this is how you get leads. This is how you deliver great content, how you deliver value to your customers, to your viewers, and then they are a lead for you. And so you can nurture them and you can help them and you can offer them way more value. And what happens then? Ultimately, they buy from you, right? If you do it right. So let's see. Okay, let's see. So we had a couple more questions, and then I'm going to talk about, okay. I think I've gotten most of the questions. If I missed something, just repost it. So I actually wanted to talk about a common mistake that most people make when using your messenger bots and tying them to your email address. So here's the deal. What I'm seeing a lot of people do, and we discovered this in my membership recently as well. Some of our students are like, because this is such a new thing, I haven't had a time to really train on this, but I will be in the very near future. And so the common mistake is people will say, all right, I want to give you this free thing in this video. So type checklist. And then the next step is that they ask for the email address so that they can deliver that PDF via email. That's the wrong way to go about it. So we're talking easy wins, right? So I love messenger bots because it's all about the easy win. And if you promise something on your video, on your live stream, and you say, hey, like we were talking about with Shane, that, hey, I want to give you this free PDF. Here's what you do. Type PDF in the comments. By the way, that's not active, but type PDF in the comments and then you'll get this. If you then say, you know what, I really need your email address in order to give this to you, that is going to throw people off. It's not going to make them happy. You have just promised them something. I say be, way on the up and up and go ahead and give them that. Now, what's next? The next step is that you can continue to deliver value. Give them something else. And then offer something, maybe you offer another PDF down the road and then ask for their email address. Or you do what I did. Here, take a look at this, because this is one of the ways that you can do it. I say, would you like this sent to your email address? I have already given it to them. They have it right here. By clicking this, they download it. They've gotten the PDF. That's all they need to do. But then I say, hey, would you like this in your email address? Because you can then search for it at any time. It's available, whatever computer you're on, wherever, whenever, you've got it in your hands, right? Through email. Most people like to have things searchable in their email address or in their email box. I know I do. So that's kind of like a couple of options that that you can take is, offer the opportunity to give their email address to you, or then you can actually deliver more and say, hey, I have something of even greater value for you. Would you like to get it? I'll deliver it through email. So those are two options for you to avoid that common mistake, but I'm seeing that happen a lot, so I don't want that to happen to you. Okay. Let's see. Kent says, does the email feature on ManyChat come with the free version, or do I have to pay? I'm sorry. I don't know what that means, the email feature. Oh, the fact that you can connect it to email like we're talking about with the free version, or do I have to pay? That's a great question. Let me take a look at, I think that's free. Yeah. Because it's just part of the sequence. It's a free user input. So the fact, like I showed you how to set that up, that's included in the free. It's just you're going to be only able to do a certain number of them. Okay. Lisa says, I'm so technically challenged. I will be on next week during the webinar. So again, we will be talking on the webinar next week about the ways, including bots, that you can actually use live video to launch a product, to launch a service, to launch an event, a book, whatever the case may be. You can launch anything with using live video to do it, right? And so I want to walk you through that. I want to show you how we accomplished getting a 34% webinar sales conversion rate. 34% of the people who showed up on the webinar, the last time we did this, they bought, right? And so that's so much higher than the industry average at 5%, that I just kind of want to walk you through that. We used live video extremely strategically. Of course, there were other components as well, and so I'll show you that process. So will you join me? All you have to do if you're on Facebook is type webinar in the comments and you'll get the link to register. You can choose the time that works for you. We're doing 2 live trainings next week, and these are live. These are not automated. Like, I am going to be there with you. I will be chatting with you. So show up live to get that conversation happening. And then, so you can choose Wednesday, Thursday, 2 different times. So hopefully that one of those works for you. Let's see. Patty says bot test right there. Yeah, that was a bot test. And if you're not on Facebook and you can't type the bot, if you're watching on Periscope like Patty is, or YouTube like Nanette is, then you can actually just head on over to the link livestreamingpros.com/webinar, and that'll get you to the same exact place. Lots of you typing webinar. I'm glad that you're going to join me. I can't wait to see you there. And then let's see. I want to make sure that I'm not missing anyone's question here. Okay. I think I've got them all, which makes me happy because I don't like to leave anybody hanging. All right. So every Tuesday through Thursday, we are live talking about live video strategy and live video tech. Now, here's the thing. We have some very cool announcements coming up very soon. I can't tell you what they are, but it's going to involve things that you have directly asked us for en masse for the last year. Like, we keep hearing this request from you about something that you want to learn more about. And so we're going to be doing more of that on this live show. That's all I'm saying for now. That's a tease. And so we'll share more with you as soon as we are able to, but so probably next week, the following week, somewhere around there. Now, speaking of next week, for sure, we have the thing I can talk about, which is the webinar, which I will walk you through that whole 34% conversion rate, just like I did on Amy Porterfield's episode this morning. And also I will walk you through the whole live video strategy that we use and talk to you about this really cool, like, seriously guys, okay, can I tell you how excited I am about this thing? We're actually going to be launching this experience that is coming your way. So I don't think anybody's ever done this before. And so we're really excited to give this a try and just totally go open with you. So we are open books. You know that about us if you've ever been around us before. We don't mind sharing all our stuff. Like, if you have a question, I'm going to share it. You know, we love helping you see results. And sometimes that's by learning from our mistakes, right? And from our successes and from that whole conversation that happens. So what we're doing next week is we're going to allow the opportunity for you to join us behind the scenes in the launch of an actual product. So we have a product coming up in a couple months that will be that will be launched, and we're going to use these live video strategies that I'm talking about on the webinar next week. But you'll have the opportunity to go behind the scenes with us, see all of our meetings, see all of our processes, see the decisions that we make about why we talk about what we talk about in the live videos that we do, in the live streams as well as the shows. You're going to be able to see the opportunity, or get the opportunity to ask us questions about the decisions that we're making and see why we're doing what we're doing. All of that so I'll tell you more about that on the webinar next week. And I'm really excited about this because it's going to be a journey and an experience so that you can really understand the training that we're going to give you. So that's what I'm going to say for now. Type webinar in the comments if you have not already. Get registered. I will see you 2 days next week, Wednesday and Thursday, both live, and I'm super, super excited to share all of this with you. So thank you for joining me. I'm Laria Petrucci. I help you create a live video strategy that grows your business with more leads and sales, and I will see you next week. Bye-bye.